Hello. Hello. I can't hear anything. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
I
You hear
can
me?
hear you. I can hear you
Okay,
now.
awesome. I don't know what was going on. I think my YouTube is acting up. You guys already know that equipment always has its ups and downs.
Yes, it
So
does.
we have our guest Tanzania Bacon here with us on WC to Life Purpose podcast. And so Tanzania, I'm just gonna have you introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, cool. And you can hear me good, right?
I can.
Okay, cool. So, hi everybody. I am Tanzania Bacon. I'm also known as Coach T. I am a mother of two amazing young boys. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I am a friend. But most of all, I am an entrepreneur. Something that never thought I would be, but that I am. I am what they call a parent coach. I'm also a paparazzi independent consultant, and I am also a mentor. That's a little about me. I live in the Carolinas. I grew up in the Carolinas, but I am originally from Philly, Philadelphia. Um, I am. I'm pretty laid back. I love God with all my heart. I've known Him since I was a little girl, and that's really kind of it for me.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So we are gonna dive in, everybody. The topic tonight is, or wherever you are, it may be morning where you are, afternoon, evening, and we are here live Eastern time. And so the title is Keep Running to Your Dreams for the Finished Product. And so tonight, our first question for you, Tanzania, is since we've been talking about dreams, we've been talking about dreams on the podcast for the last, I want to say last month, for the last month or so. It's been almost about 3 weeks, and so I thought it would be great to talk about dreams and how you came to become an entrepreneur, the trials and tribulation you went through. So our first question for you is, what does dreams mean for you?
So for me, and y'all gotta forgive me, I make noises. Karen knows I'm a noisy person, so bear with me and my noises. But dream to me means something that I can only imagine, but only can reach through God. So when I think about a dream that I have, I'm like I can imagine it, but I probably can't only do this with God. And so not counting myself out, but just knowing that this is so big that I just can't contain it all. And so to me, that's what dream would be. Something that is so big I can't handle it all by myself. And so that is dream. That's what dreaming means to me.
Okay, awesome. So why is it important for you to dream? Why is it so? I mean, it may be important to some people, and for some people, it is very intense and it very is important. So why is it important for you to dream? What does that have to do for you?
I think when we talk about dreaming, we have to remember that when people stop dreaming, they stop finding purpose and they stop
Mhm.
finding life. So you find a
Mhm.
lot of people who are hopeless and they're down and out. It's because they haven't been able to dream. It's because they haven't been able to step outside of their current situation and see themselves where they can be. And so dreaming to me is so important. So important to me. It's like a lifeline. You have to dream, because if you don't dream and you just get stuck in the routines of life and just being okay, then it's like
Mhm.
that's all there is. And so when you think about people who don't dream, you think about people who just live a basic, ordinary, plain and simple and boring life. And for me, I have to dream because I know that where I am is only temporary, and where I will be is going to be forever. And so when I think about me and dreaming, I've been dreaming since I was a little girl. Of how I wanted
Mhm.
my wedding, how I wanted my life,
Mhm.
just what school I wanted to go to. But when we stop dreaming, we stop reaching for those goals. So dreaming is attached to having goals to me. So when I stop dreaming, I stop reaching forward to accomplish a goal. You have to have goals to accomplish, because if you don't, then you just kind of wandering doing whatever you want to do. And so a person without direction is very crazy and scary. I don't know if you ever encountered one, but someone who does
Yes.
not know where they're going, they just will do anyway. It's kind of like not knowing who you are. If you don't know who you are, you'll do whatever and whenever. So, and even as I talk about this, I think about the famous statement that when let me get it together. When purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. And so when somebody
Mhm.
does not dream, or they do not know where they're going, then they just waste away their life as if nothing
Yes.
matters. As if, hey, I could just do whatever. I can drink this fifth of liquor 5 days a week for 20
Uh-huh.
years because I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to see tomorrow. And so, yes, we should live every day like it's our last, but we should always plan for the future. So, when you think about dreaming, even you can't stop dreaming. When you stop dreaming, you stop living, you stop pushing, your drive stops, your momentum stops. When you stop dreaming, it's like poof, everything is just like at a standstill, and you never want to
Mhm.
be at a standstill in life. So,
True.
when I think about dreaming and me and dreaming, even now, being an entrepreneur, I find it hard to dream. But I'm
Mhm.
like, it's not that I find it hard to dream. It's just that my stuff is so big that I'm just like, oh goodness. And so it comes a point where you have to not only put it in your head, but you got to put it on paper. And so for me, dreaming is something I do daily. I always want to dream. I always want to be thinking, what more can I do for myself? Where else do I want to be? Right now, I'm a hundredaire. 5 years from now, I want to be a millionaire or a thousandaire. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's those things that keep you pushing, it keeps you striving, and it keeps you growing in who you are. So that's dreaming for me.
I definitely I definitely agree. I definitely can attest to that because if you don't know where you're going, or if you're, I guess the word I want to use is settling. I guess if you're just
Hmm.
settling and you're like, okay, well, I always do this, nothing's ever going to get off the ground. And I think I said this before that just because you feel like that you can't make it, you have to have that mindset change. You have to have a different
Hmm.
mindset of what you want to do. And just because somebody else may have a line of business that you have, you still have something different, and you still
Hmm.
have something unique. Like it's some type of purpose in
Yeah.
you. But if you, like you said before, if you waste away and you just said, you don't have no direction or no vision, you're going to regret going through life not dreaming, because you gave up on your dreams. You didn't write the vision down. You didn't stay on, you didn't put it out there because you're like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't know if such and such, or I don't know if the world is going to receive it. But
Mm-hmm.
I just believe that believing in yourself and believing that you can do it and having that change of mindset is what's gonna keep you dreaming, because you have to take your eyes and your mind off the naysayers and just be like, okay, I can do this. I can be the next Nike owner
Mm-hmm.
or next shoe owner.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Nike, but it's going to be your brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the amazing word that you said in that in the whole thing, even all of it was great. But you said a mindset change, and so when I don't want to
Mhm.
get ahead of us, but when I think about going from being, and this is true story, when I thought about starting a company and starting a business, I was
Mhm.
like, oh, yeah, it's something I could probably do. But like, as I started to go through the process, God had to begin to change my mind. And
Yeah.
I told my sister, I said, it is different from being an employee to being an employer. Your
Right.
whole mindset is different. So now
Mhm.
when I wake up, I don't have to worry about no, now when I wake up, it's I make the schedule. I say what I'm doing today. I say how much money I need to generate. Da 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 da. Where when you're an employee, all you need to know is do I got to clock in or not. And so the whole mindset has to shift so I can go from a place of following to a place of leading. And
Yeah.
so when you talk about dreaming and you talk about that whole mindset shifting, it's just like whoa. And that's where a lot of people, I'm not going to say fail, but that's where a lot of people find their challenge in entrepreneurship, is because as they go from being an employee to an employer,
Yeah.
that little highway right there,
Yeah.
girl, that highway right there is rough. Because I knew some days I woke up and I was like, okay, I wish I could clock into somebody's job, because I don't want to have to, get on here and research and try to figure out how to market. And
Mhm.
I didn't,
Mhm.
in myself, I'm like, I can't do it. In and of ourselves, we cannot do it. We have to have God. You have
Yes.
to have God, because it is so hard to make that mindset shift in a healthy way without having God, you know what I'm saying? And then coaches and people around you that can help you go from thinking, okay, I'm gonna clock in today, to okay, I need to have this set so that when my employees come, they will know, oh, when we come in today, this is what we're supposed to do. Now I don't have any employees yet, but one day I might. Well, one day I will. But
Exactly.
that whole mindset, I think that was like the one of the best pieces you said, because that
Mhm.
mindset, even in dreaming, you have to, some people take dreams so they like, oh, I just had a dream. No, our dreams mean stuff.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
like when I lay down and I sleep and I dream about something, and people can say what they want. They say, oh, it happened 5 years later. Yes, because your dreams have meanings,
Yes.
like
Yes.
dreams mean something. So don't take it so don't look at it so I don't even know the word. Don't just waste it away like, oh, it's just a dream. No, pray
Mhm.
about it.
Mhm.
Say, hey, what do I need to do? Because what happens is it starts in your mind, and then once you speak it, now it has to be performed.
Right.
But what happens is, as we speak it, we resist the actual motion of doing it.
Yeah.
And I say that for me, because Built for Us was in the making for 2 years. But I would start and I would speak it, and then God would be like, all right, activate. And then I start moving, and then I stop, because I'm like, I don't see this happening. But this time
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
pushed through. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I pushed through. I kept speaking those things, because as you speak those things, they have to manifest. But everything has to come into alignment with what it's saying. And so that means you too. And so
That's right.
that's how that's that mindset thing is bomb. Yes, yes, I love it.
Yeah, and that's where, I'm glad that you touched bases on that, because that's where purpose tap in. Like you said before, you cannot walk into your purpose or fall into your purpose until you have sought God, until you seek God. If you're not sure, or if you're fearful, of the unknown or whatever, you have to recognize your own purpose, and you got to recognize,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is a passion and a desire of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to keep dreaming this thing or whatever. But I don't
Yep.
know how to. I don't really know how to go about it. And like you said, God is the most important source in our life to seek your purpose and to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what where do I need to get started? What do I need to be doing? And like you said, there are
Yeah.
times where we'll stop and we'll be like, okay, we're going full force, and then we're pulling back because, like you said, emotion.
Yeah.
We get into ourselves. We like, okay, well, wait a minute, is this really happening? It is happening, and like you said, you just keep going and you keep going and you keep speaking those things that you want to, that you've been dreaming and that you want for your business. So, just speaking of, built for us, since you already said it, I'm going to go to, this question: what empire and goals are you working towards built for us, and how far have you have came with built for us? Is it still in the process? Are you still adding things? I know I had a couple questions out there to you, so you can just
Oh, you
answer them
good.
one at a time.
Okay, so my baby built for us. So anybody who knows me know that I am not the girl who wants to be in the front of the scene. I am the girl that be one. She bomb, right? I'm bomb, but I want to stand in the background, And everybody be like, "Well, who did that?" And they say, "Oh yeah, Tansy did it." I don't. I'm not trying to be in front. So built for us is my baby. It is a parent coaching. It is a parent coaching business where I coach parents, I coach single parents going through different life transitions. And so Built for Us is out here, y'all. I am
Yay,
definitely,
let's clap for
I
that.
am, yes, Built for Us is out here. Yes. Built for Us officially launched in October of 2020, October 26th, 2020, 10/26, 2020. I gave the world my baby. I hope I remember all the questions, but I'm gonna just go through the spiel. Built for Us is something I've been working on for about 2 years. I remember it was in the fall of 2018. I spoke to a spiritual leader of mine and I said, this is something I want to do. And I didn't really know what it was, or I just knew that I liked helping single parents. Why? I'm a single parent. Hey.
Yeah.
And I knew that my kids needed more than just me. So for years, I had built this village, but I'm like, yo, I need to help other single parents in this area because,
Right.
hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I can. We
Oh,
thought we lost you. We got you.
sorry. Um, you can still hear me, right?
We can.
Okay, sorry.
Yep, we can hear you.
Y'all, you tell people you doing something, and then they just like, I don't care.
Yep,
Listen,
that's
I'm
what
gonna tell y'all,
happened.
the first step to entrepreneurship is boundaries.
Yes.
Boundaries. Nope. I have a schedule. You have interrupted my schedule. But anyway, so hopefully they got the point. Um, y'all know people don't know me. I'm absent. Listen, I never forgot. Um,
So you were talking about when Bill for Us got started in
Oh,
October.
oh, oh, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So, fall of 2018, I said, this is what, I want to do, or this is what I think I want to do, but I just know that I need to help single parents.
Uh-huh.
Why did I know that? Because for years, I was the single parent who the other single parents kind of came to me like, girl, what are you doing? Well, how's this working?
Mhm.
But what about
Mhm.
this? And so I was like, okay. I just thought it was, homegirls trying to get some advice. But
Yeah.
it wasn't until 2018 it became very I became very aware that this is something that like God was leading me to help single parents. And so I got a logo, y'all. I did everything.
Yay.
I got a logo in 2018. Um, I started writing some things down and then I stopped. And I stopped out
Mhm.
of fear. One
Mhm.
thing that you deal with becoming an entrepreneur is you deal with the fear of success. People don't like to talk about that, but when you've been in such a parvished state for all your life, or all your
Mm-hmm.
adult life, when it comes to you being in something that's successful, you get fearful. Like, hey,
Yeah.
this may be great one day, and that means I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be great, and I don't know if I'm ready to handle it. So I dealt with that. And I was like, well, I'm gonna put it back. I left it. I left it in my journal. I
Yeah.
talked about it every now and then, but nobody really knew about it. I just prayed and I kept covering it and I kept praying about it, kept praying about it. And so last year, my pastor preached a message entitled Ambidextrous. And that I had already been in like a consecration that week, and God really was like pumping my heart about it. But I was like, God, I'm so
Yeah.
scared. I'm just so scared. And so my pastor preached about being ambidextrous. And he said some very specific words, and I was like, "Oh, this Jesus Christ." So I said, "All right, I'm gonna do this," but I still drug my feet. It wasn't until the
Yeah.
pandemic shut down, until March when everything shut down. I was like, you know what, God, I ain't got nothing but time. And that was one of my things. I said, well, God, I don't got time. I'm working a full-time job. I got kids in sports, kids taking music stuff. I'm just doing a lot. I'm traveling. I'm living my best life. But
Yeah.
it wasn't until the pandemic that I really had to like sit down and work on this thing. And I wasn't upset about it. I was very happy about it because I'm like, okay, God, you gave me the time. Let me do it. And so I
Mm-hmm.
began to work with my business coach, and she really pushed me. And a lot of my friends and family members pushed me, and so I created Built for Us.
Awesome.
We do coaching services as of right now. At the beginning of the year, we will drop our support group for single parents.
Awesome.
Um, and so that'll be something that drops at the beginning of 2021. But yeah, so Built for Us is ever evolving. The mission and vision for Built for Us is so big. It's bigger than what I can hold. And
Mm-hmm.
so Built for Us consists of so many things. So the coaching component is just one aspect of it. It really is just one thing to the whole
Mm-hmm.
Built for Us brand. I really wanted it to be built for tough because I kept thinking about me. But then
Yeah.
as I sat down one day, I was just kept saying it. And then I said, you know what, God, this is built for us. And he was like, there you
Wow.
go, boo.
That's
And
it.
so built for us is, and the reason why I chose built for us is when I think about my kids, my legacy, what I want to leave on this earth, I think about it being built for my children. And so
Right.
when you think about everything that you have, it's not just built for your kids, it's actually built for us. Us can be your community, us can be the
Yeah.
world, us can be your town. Us is bigger than just you. And so when you think about building something,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm big on trying to build something for my kids, something that I may have had, but I want to enhance it, or
Yeah.
something I may not have had, but I wanted to enhance it. And so, Built for Us is ever evolving. I have all types of things in my head. To just do, but we
Yeah.
have to do it, in order. You have to do it business wise. So
Mm-hmm.
in March, I sat down, and y'all, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It only took me about 3 months. I'm gonna say 3 months.
Okay.
I think it took me three and a half months to really. I sat down in June or July. Nah, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was June. June, I sat down with my leader, and we talked about it, and I think it was like June. So it didn't take me about like 3-4 months to produce it. It just
Mm-hmm.
was my mindset had changed. Why did my mindset change? I was in a pandemic. I was out
Uh-huh.
of work. I'm like, Lord, what am I going to do about income?
Yeah.
And one day my sister said, you got to use what's in your hands. Use what's in your hands.
Yes.
And then I
Yes.
start hearing all these people talk about use what's in your hands, and I'm like, so what do I have in my hands? And so I'm like, oh, I got Built for Us. And so I just was like, God, I'm going to focus. I'm going to
Yeah.
focus all of my energy and attention on this. And I'm gonna see what you do. And y'all, he is blowing my everlasting mind. Now I'm
Awesome.
not gonna be out here telling y'all I'm making 2K a month. I got 15 clients on the books. Like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, I have no paid clients right now. Um, I literally, when I first started, uh, let me go back. When I first even was like, I want to be a coach, I was like, God, I gotta get into a program.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I gotta become certified because I do believe in education. I
Yeah,
do believe that when you do something, even if you don't have the diploma or degree right now, you should be ever learning about what you're doing. So
exactly.
this lady I follow, her name is Dr. Faithful Coma.
Mm-hmm.
She had this mentor and coaching certification class coming out, and I was like, oh God,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got that money though. I ain't got that money
Uh-huh.
though.
Uh-huh.
And next thing I knew, the money was in my account, and I was like, oh,
Awesome.
I'm gonna sign up for it. You know, I want at first I was like, let me do the payments. Then I said, nope,
Mm-hmm.
I'm signing up. I'm taking all of it and giving it all to him. And so
Yep.
I signed up for the class. I took the class. It was phenomenal. She
Awesome.
pulled out some things in us. And, you know, when you think about doing something for the rest of your life,
Mm-hmm.
I think about wanting to be fulfilled. So a lot of my issues with having all types of jobs, I worked at all types of jobs, is I never felt fulfilled. I'm like, it's something missing. It's just something there. But when I coach these single parents, and I coach male, female
Mm-hmm.
parents who are single parents, but they may have adopted, or maybe they have their nieces and nephews they have custody of. But when I talk to these and I coach these families, and I really like get to know that this is something that I can do and not get paid for. This is
Right.
something that if they only gave me $20 a week, I would still
Mm-hmm.
do it because it's my heart's
Mm-hmm.
purpose. This is something that like it drives me. Like I get off a building session and I'm just like, oh, that's so amazing. I actually had a building session Wednesday night and I got off and I was just like, oh, I'm so happy. And I just, it's the joy that I feel
Yeah.
knowing that I can push somebody else
Mm-hmm.
into what they need to be, into their purpose, into their destiny, into the next phase of their life, push them out of their comfort zone into their forever. And so it's so amazing to me. So God provided that. Then I took the certification. So I became certified. And so I think I'm answering all the questions. Oh, one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you think about dreaming and goals and entrepreneurship, when I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily want to have my own business. I was just good with being with me, but God
Yeah.
made me so uncomfortable in where I was, and
Mm-hmm.
so it I did not even find out it was my purpose, you guys, until January of this year.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just knew I like helping people. And I took a certified peer support specialist class and I became certified in that. And I was just, God was like edging me on, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
this is something you like, but I didn't know. And I had been praying, God, show me my purpose. Everybody out here walking in purpose, talk about
That's it.
purpose. And I'm out here looking like, well, I ain't got no purpose. I'm just working at the school. I'm okay. Knowing I was miserable. And so in my secret place, I kept saying, God, I want to know my purpose. I want to know my purpose. I want to know my calling. I want you
Yes.
to put me. But as I began to speak those words, he made it so that I was able to like fully understand who I am in Him, my purpose, my
Yes.
calling. And so doing this work with
Mhm.
families is amazing. To me, it's amazing because I don't only get to help the parents, I get to touch the next generation and then the generation to follow. So
Yes.
I hope that answered all your questions. You know, I could talk. But
Yes,
yeah.
this you did, and you kind of touched a little bit on just a little bit more questions, even though I do have two more questions left, but
Okay.
just something that you said. I know that's one of the things that we also have in common as far as starting a business, because I was always the one that would be prayer lines and people would be going up on the altar, getting on the altar like, yeah, I'm calling all business people. I used to always be like, oh, that ain't me. I won't be going to the altar today. I said, I'm
That's
not
I be.
going to
Nah, I'm
be
good.
dealing with no headaches. But you know what? Like I said, I didn't. Like you said, we didn't know. We didn't. even though we was already exercising, in our purpose, it's like never say what you're not gonna do, because at the end of the day, God
Hmm.
has the final say. And the thing about it
Yeah.
is your gifts of helps and your talents in your hands, you don't only do it because you're gonna get paid, or you're gonna get paid millions, or paid one day or whatever, but you're doing it because it's a passion
Hmm.
of yours. And like you said, when we came into quarantine, most of us, some of us, I've seen a lot of women entrepreneurs out there, and just grinding and doing their own thing. And that's when I actually, God had stripped me of some things, and then I started just building and just walking into it. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to go this way. God was like, you need to turn and go this. We gonna
Yeah.
turn and go this way. So, like you said, but it's a passion. It's already a passion and desire of yours. So why wouldn't you act on it? Why wouldn't you dream on your purpose, on your business? Like you said, that's your baby. Like, because
Hmm.
it's already in you. It's something in you, and because you have the gifts of help, because you have a caring heart to change lives. God would say, okay, so why wouldn't you take this route when you know that you're
Yeah.
going to help millions? And people look at the money and they be like, okay, well, okay, because I ain't got no paid clients either. So it's like,
Hmm.
okay, but the thing about it is that you love, when you get off a session, like you said, you feel great. You feel
Hmm.
refreshed knowing that you helped someone else, knowing that this information is going to get out to millions. And I had said this before on one of my episodes, that don't worry about getting promoted, because God is going to do the promoting.
Mm.
And you guys, I tell you on the WC to Life Purpose podcast, we talk about spirituality on here as well. And God is my ultimate source. And when people saying, well, they make it, don't you want to you don't want to be doing all these freebies? And I know you've heard some of that, Tanzania, people out there saying,
Hmm.
well, you ain't got to do all these freebies, and you ain't got to do this and do that. No, it's in my heart. It's in my heart to do it. And
Hmm.
I know that I am going to be promoted, but my focus is helping the community, helping the
Hmm.
people, because you also have a story to tell. Like you just told your story
Hmm.
and your background behind Built for Us, and some of the things that you've had to encounter. So you've got to have a desire. It's got to be your passion first and
Hmm.
foremost. You can't just get into it for the money.
Yeah, I think, and crazy thing is, I just had this conversation with my mom because I have a few things going on, and she said, "Well, how much they paying you?" I said, "Well, mommy, they not paying me nothing." I said, "It's a way for me to get myself out there." Like
Mhm.
I told you guys previously, I'm the type of girl. I'm in the background. Like all my friends who know me know, Tens is pretty bomb, and most of
Mhm.
them are so glad that I've done this. But because for years they like, "Girl, you need to be out there," but I'm okay. I was so comfortable with being
Mhm.
in this tight locked box. And so I tell my mom all the time, when you're branding your name, sometimes you may not get paid.
Right.
Sometimes it's just about even some of the coaches, they'll tell you, what is your freebie? What are you giving away for free? Because
Mhm.
before people will trust you with their money and their finances, they're gonna have to know that you're good quality. So I
Exactly.
talked about my certification. Dr. Faithful Coma, I have followed her for about 2 years now, a year and a
Mhm.
half, 2 years, something like that. She is quality. She's thorough. She has a doctorate. It's a college. Like she's bomb. So when she released her class, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't even. I cared about the price because I at the time I didn't have it, but I
Right.
really didn't care about the price because I'm like, yo, she's quality.
Right.
Like I know that I'm going to get so much more than what
Mhm.
these little bit of money can give me. And so when I think about building my brand to last forever, I think about building a foundation.
Yeah.
You take a lot of hits when you build a foundation. You take a lot of losses and some wins, but you take a lot of hits. And so if I have to take these hits so that 20 and 30 and 50 years from now, people can know about Built for Us and
Yeah.
encounter our services, then it was worth it.
Right.
Sometimes money, when you're dealing with somebody's life, when
Yeah.
you're dealing with um like their how they will live, like that is to me is no amount of money. I can charge you $300 an hour, and it is not enough because I'm
Right.
changing the whole way that you'll probably live life. And not just I, but we are changing together how you'll live life from here on out. And so that's priceless. Like, it's
Exactly.
very priceless. And so, it's definitely, I have I have I have definitely like took some losses. I've had some wins, but the thing is, you're in the process. So even when you're going through things, you have to embrace the process because through
Yes.
the process, you find victory at the end. Even it's the whole like, even with weight loss,
Yes.
at first you don't see nothing happening, but then
Right.
2 years from now, you look back at that picture from your class reunion and you like, girl, you was doing it. You is doing it, boo. Or you
Yeah.
saying, boo, you need to get back on it, like
Uh-huh.
me. But,
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
a process. And
It's a
through
process.
that process, at the end of the process, you're able to see the victory of it all. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, entrepreneurship is definitely something, and I can relate. I never, my sister's an entrepreneur, my brother's an entrepreneur, and so entrepreneurship is kind of in my bloodline, but I was always
Yeah.
that one that was like, nope, I'm gonna find me a good job, because since I was a little girl, I was gonna be a stenographer. So I said, I'm gonna find me, I'm gonna be a stenographer. I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but God definitely,
Yeah.
he intervened, like, oh yeah, you think you're going to do this, and no, you're going to do this. And it's ever evolving. Even now, I've been given an opportunity, and I looked at it. I had one perspective on it, and God was like, "Oh no, boo, this is a whole bigger thing than just you." And I'm like, "Whoa,
Yes.
wait,"
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
uncomfortable, but I'm so excited because I'm like, "Oh, if you could, during a pandemic, if you can have me launch two small businesses." Then I
Yes.
know that this thing that you're doing now is even bigger. And so elevation only comes from God.
Yes.
And you and pure point blank, that's just how I feel. And so I'm very excited about where Built for Us is going, where Women See to Life is going. I'm just excited because it takes a lot to
Yes.
bank on yourself. A lot of people asked me when I first started posting stuff, they're like, "What are you doing?" I got so many inboxes and calls,
Awesome.
and I was like, I'm banking on me. Every
Yeah.
day, for the last, since I was 16, I would go to work and I would put my trust and all my energy into someone else's company. And I said, when the pandemic happened, I just had a mind shift. Like my mindset was, I'm going to bank on me.
Yes.
Because, and my pastor always says, I'm not going to leave this place empty handed. And so when I think about this pandemic, when I think about 2020, I don't want to leave empty handed. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take all that energy I would take if I was at work working 8 hours a day, and I'm going to
Yes.
invest it in me and see what happens. And when you start investing in you,
Yes.
your whole life will change. You will never be the same. I promise you that. Never be the same. So,
And that's good encouragement and that's good wisdom because you get excited about what you're doing. You see the progress and you see the
mhm.
process and you like, wow, look, because you stayed focused on the task and God trusted you with this task. He's like, okay, I have something else for you to add to your services, or I
Girl.
want you to go forward with this and that. And when you're really maturing, when you're saying, and like you said, it's natural to say, okay, well, you giving me all these, services. But then he's like, okay, so why you think you can't do it?
Yeah.
Because your mindset is already changed and you're in the right vein. It's like he's saying, okay, I can trust you with this because
Yeah.
you're gonna go forward and you're gonna do. And I'm like you said, I'm proud of each and everybody, that has marketed and launched their business. Definitely happy for Bill for us, Tansy, because you're one of my friends and sisters in Christ. And so I know, the process and I know the gifts and talents that you have and just everybody else out there. And if you can encourage um anyone out there, what would what are some of the words that you would, say to um young entrepreneurs, I mean, even youth entrepreneurs, or just anybody
Yeah.
out there that has a gift and talent in mind?
Uh-huh. Sure. I could do that. You trying to tap into all my little gifts tonight. Um, so for people who don't know me, I am very gifted. I am very anointed. I am a great individual, but I give this to my friends and then I say, I'm good. So sharing this publicly is even a big hurdle for me. And I'll share this and then I'll encourage you guys. When I first talked about having a business, my pastor said, you're gonna have to people gonna have to learn who you are. You're gonna have to tell your story. And I was
Mhm.
like, I don't want to do that. But I'll think about it. But over the course of being an entrepreneur, I have told my story in so many different ways, and people are blown away by what I've survived. And so I would just encourage a young entrepreneur is to stay the course. Stay the course. I think the biggest thing, the biggest hurdle that you overcome is you overcome limiting beliefs. You overcome your mindset. You get a chance to really do a lot of self reflection.
Mhm.
And so I would say affirm yourself every day. Not only affirm yourself, but affirm your business and what your business will be. Not only that, I really just stay the course. It's been some days I woke up and I was just like, oh, this is not working today. But even today, I was like, I need another dip. And so I woke
Mhm.
up this morning inspired to write. And some days you'll feel like writing and planning all day, and then some days you don't even want to look at it.
Right.
I'll share this with you. I'll say this and then I'll share something with you. Celebrate your big wins and your big losses. And the reason
Mhm.
why I say that is the first thing I did was launch a course. I launched a one day parenting during times of transition and crisis course, and I was pumped about it. And people was telling me, "Yeah, I think this is great. I'm going to sign up." And then the day of the course, no one had signed up, and I felt
Mhm.
so low. I felt
Mhm.
very low. I felt bad. I was hurt. And I'm like, wow, I know people want it, so why is it not working for me? I'm seeing all these people launch these businesses, having all this great success, and I
Yeah.
don't understand what is my issue. And that's the
Mhm.
day that I realized that I could not ever put myself up against anybody else. And the reason being is because my purpose is not what their purpose is, and my pattern, the way that I'll go about it, is not how they'll go about it. And so, yeah, nobody
Yeah.
signed up. And that day, you know what I did? I taught my kids. I talked to
Yeah.
a parent about some other things, and I said, you know what? It doesn't matter that nobody showed up. I still showed up.
That's
And
right.
so that's what matters. It does not matter that nobody thought enough to, hey, let me do this. What mattered is, even in the face of adversity, I stood flat footed and did what I said I was going to do. Your word is your bond in entrepreneurship. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Period, point blank. It's been hard sometimes. I wrote an email last night at 2 o'clock in the morning because I was supposed to write it earlier, but then time got away. But because I said I was going to do it, I did it.
That's right.
You have to, your word is your bond. You have to stay
Mhm.
committed to your word, stay committed to the process. And you definitely want to consider God. When I first thought about Built for Us, I knew that I could not do it in and of myself. As God began to release the vision and the
Yeah.
bigger picture of it, I'm like, oh no, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, I ain't got that. And God was like, take a breath. And so what I had to do was I had to really put it all into his hands. And so
Uh-huh.
it says, write the vision and make it plain. And so I write in the vision and I'm making it plain. And so I'm
Yes.
running the vision. I am running the vision. One day he will bring co-laborers beside me to run the vision. And so that'll be amazing. But I really want you to just stay the course, consider God, celebrate your victories and your losses. And the reason why I say celebrate your losses is because that is the first and last time you'll ever lose like that again.
Yes.
And I say that because once you celebrate a loss, then you're like, all right, how can I do better? That day, I was down and out for about an hour, 2 hours. I talked to a friend, talked to some parents, did some things. The
Mm-hmm.
next thing I know, over in the night, I wake up a lot at night. I woke up and I was like, God, I was just told him my feelings, and automatically he began to give me strategy for some other things, and I'm just like, okay. And then he said, it does not matter if nobody showed up, you showed up. And so I definitely want to encourage you to do all of those things. I think the biggest thing out of all of what I said is just jump and do it. You
Yeah.
have to jump out there. When I first started Built for Us, I was, whoo, y'all, my business coach. I'd be like, ooh, some things I didn't want to talk about, some things, but I just had to do it. I had to do it when I was uncomfortable. I had to do it when I didn't feel good. I had to do it when nobody believed in me. I think the biggest hurt that I had was somebody who is a relative of mine actually downplayed everything that I was doing, and said that, basically they said that I was not qualified to do
Wow.
it. And I was like, whew, that thing hit me, y'all. And I was like, wow. But God immediately said, but you are. And
You
so I'm
are.
like, okay. And so that's why I say affirm who you are, because it does not matter what people say about you. It does not matter what people think about you. As long as God qualifies you, you know that it's your passion and your purpose, then do it. Jump out there and do it, because if you never jump out there, then you'll never know. And so you want to cancel out all of the what ifs and the doubts and just jump out there. So I think that's I'm gonna end right there, because I could talk, but yeah. I mean, you just got to jump out there and do it. I think a really good speech I heard, it was from Will Smith, and he was like, he just jumped out there, and this is what happens when you jump out here, um,
Yeah.
so that's that.
That is
I could go
awesome.
on.
That's, that's awesome. And yeah, we're gonna have you back. So don't worry, you'll talk some more.
Ugh.
But thanks for that encouragement to everybody out there on YouTube who is also listening, and everybody who supports the WC to Life Purpose podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you, Tanzania, for the encouragement.
No
And
problem.
before we go, can you let everybody know your handles and where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. So this is all new for me, y'all. So let me make sure I get it all right. On Facebook, you can reach me at BULT for FOR US. We have a Built for Us page. Our website is Built for Us Parenting. So parenting. So BUILTFORUSPARENTING.com. So
Okay.
builtforusparenting.com. We don't have an Instagram, but you can also reach me if you follow. It's called a Parent Coach Club guide. I am under Built for Us. But if you didn't hear any of that and you're like, girl, what am I supposed to do?
I
All
can
you
see
need to
it as
do,
well.
oh, okay. All you need to
Mhm.
do is you can reach out to my personal page, Tanzania Bacon, and all of my information is in my bio. And so those are my handles.
Well, awesome, Tanzania. I call her Tansy, you guys, because I know about Tansy. But
It's
thanks
all
so
right.
much for taking out time, out of your busy schedule to come and speak with everyone on the WC to Life Purpose podcast. And you guys, if you have any questions for any of our guests, if you have any questions for Tanzania, you can still send them, and I will leave the handles too as well if you didn't get them, so you can know how to reach her and ask her any questions or whatnot. And thank you guys for coming back for another live episode and just rocking with us. for about 8 or 9 months. It's been kind of a long journey, but just want to shout
Yes,
out, yay!
consistency.
Want to shout
Go
out to all
Karen.
of the entrepreneurs. Build for us, yes, 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 build for us,
Yes.
and all of the rising entrepreneurs out there. And
Yes.
just want to encourage you all to just keep dreaming and just keep going for the.
Keep
I want to
dreaming.
say gold, but keep going for platinum.
Girl,
Keep going for
listen.
platinum.
Keep going.
Yes. Yes. So thanks so much, everybody. And we
Thank
will see
you.
you guys next week. And thanks again, Tanzania.
You're
Take
welcome.
care.
You as well. Have a good
Bye.
night.
You too.